Kitten Marlowe presents Hemlock High is sponsored by Monster Hearts. Welcome to Drowned Lake. This upcoming video game is a queer horror deck-building spin-off of the critically acclaimed TTRPG we're currently playing.
Play as an angsty teen monster in a creepy coming-of-age story full of dating, breaking up, making friends, and forging enemies. You'll balance the rigors of high school with solving supernatural mysteries, a suspicious death, and embracing the growing power of your monstrous side.
Check out Monster Hearts Welcome to Drowned Lake on Steam, where you can play the free demo and wishlist the game, or check out their Backer Kit campaign and help bring this video game to life, or unlife, if you will. Hemlock High is intended for mature audiences and may contain material that some people find disturbing. Please see the episode description for content warnings and listen with care.
I can't fight this skin I'm in. I want to be sane and chosen. I keep always running away from my darkest self. Full moon glowing up above. Those two bright lights won't stay buried. Memories that I bet out from a distance. I can't wait to graduate. Maybe I won't hide, but in the meantime, show me what's inside.
Camden, you stride towards your parents' murderers, Sharday and Aviola, Yakubu's sisters. You are as brave as you have ever been, and you say,
"You may not know me, but you will."
Sharday turns over her shoulder and looks at you, not impressed at all. "And if you knew us, you wouldn't be talking so boldly."
Camden arches their shoulders back and says, "Unfortunate news. I do know you. I know exactly who you are. You two, both of you," and tries to give recognition to the elder sister as well. "You both are murderers."
Now it's Abiola who smiles at you. Already her teeth are just slightly sharper than they should be. "We are hunters."
Hunters, murderers, whatever you are, you killed two people that meant everything to me, and I can't get them back. So I only have to return the favor, and I would like to lash out physically.
All right, Camden, go ahead and roll with Volatile.
Here we go. Wish me luck. That would be a 5.
Please mark experience. So what is it that you try to do?
Before Camden even arrives at the game, there is a moment at the home where they're trying to think about how to protect themselves. And if it was written for television, on the table they see a large knife, a foldable, retractable, but large knife. And it just says Shaw on it. Without hesitation, they grab it and stick it in their pocket. So in this moment, flash forward, they look at the two girls and go to take out the knife in their pocket. And before they could point it directly at them, the knife flings out of their hand and falls to the ground.
Camden, you are just so outnumbered in this moment. And Yakubu's sisters are so strong and so fast. And they're pack animals. And Sharday neutralizes that knife, grabs your arm and twists it, and we hear something snap and pop. Go ahead and take 1 harm. I think this violence is just getting lost in the celebration of this win at homecoming. Your screams of pain being indistinguishable from shouts of celebration. No one is coming to your aid in this moment, and Abiola looks at you, grinning and chuckling under her breath. "I don't even remember who you are talking about, but you are more than welcome to join them."
Can I roll to keep my cool?
Absolutely. When you keep your cool and act despite fear, name what you're afraid of and roll with cold. So Camden, what are you afraid could happen in this moment?
Camden is mortified seeing the threat in front of them because they fear that their bravery put them in a very unfortunate situation. And one of the last things that they do to help try and keep their cool is go to grab the pendant on their chest. And hopefully things go okay here.
All right, go ahead and roll with cold.
So with a -1 in cold and a 6 on my roll. That will be a 5. So they go to grab the pendant on their chest and immediately tugs too tight, and the pendant rips off of their chest and falls to the ground.
Go ahead and mark experience. The rest of my player characters here, one of the keeper tenets of this is to be honest at all times, and I need to tell you that unless someone intervenes here, Camden is going to die.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. When Camden left Valley's side, she kept her eyes on them. She obviously has lived in this town for a while. She's familiar with Yakubu's sisters. She's probably seen them at the grocery store and in various places around the town. So now knowing what Yakubu is, Valley in this moment assumes the sisters are the same and sees Camden struggling. And
Yeah, Camden, go ahead and take another harm.
And using some of her ghost-like abilities that she's starting to uncover, she very quickly materializes between Camden and the sisters and goes to kick one of them in the stomach to take the focus off of Camden and put it on herself. So I do want to get in the middle of this and lash out physically against one of these sisters.
All right, go for it.
Okay, that is a 8 on the dice minus my 1 of volatile, so a 7.
On a 7 to 9, you harm them, but choose 1. They learn something about your true nature and gain a string on you. The MC decides how bad the harm turns out, or you become your darkest self.
While I love the idea of becoming my darkest self, I feel like that's too revelatory in this giant crowd. So I'm going to let you decide how bad the harm turns out. And it might not be much, which is perfectly within your purview to do.
No, I think the danger here is that it's too good. I think the danger here is that you kill one of Yakubu's sisters.
Go forth.
Describe what it is you wanted to do, and then I'll make it worse.
Valley putting herself between Camden and Yakubu's sisters was purely meant to get Camden out of harm's way and put the focus on Valley. Valley is a fighter, but not in the typical sense. She fights for her own protection, to protect herself, to protect others. So in this moment, I think she's just trying to subdue one or both of these sisters by kicking, pushing, trying to create distance between them and what is essentially now their prey. So I think it's just a lot of shoving, kicking, pushing. Maybe she twists the arm of the one that twisted Camden's arm, not realizing that she was inflicting similar pain on the sister. I think it's just she's just pushing them out onto the field with whatever moves she can.
I think it's only Sable who clocks this as she is viewing this through a camera lens. We see Valley's kicks and punches phasing through Yakubu's sisters, but then materializing inside their bodies as you're doing internal damage to Sade, Yakubu's middle sister. And your high kick connects with the side of her head, and one of those gold eyes just goes milky white, some of her hair going white from shock. And Sade drops to her knees, clutching at her insides. You're starting to see these bruises appear on her body from internal bleeding.
Sable, having seen this, sprints across the field over to Valley and Camden, with Nagi trailing behind. Are you... what? Where's Yakubu? Are you both okay?
I'm sorry, I didn't have enough time to explain earlier, but I will as quickly as possible explain everything to you now. There's a cutaway scene that kind of explains, quick recap.
Yep, star wipe.
And coming back from the star wipe, the last thing I say is, Yakubu's sisters killed my parents, and I had to do something about it.
Yakubu is indeed trying to breathe and control this transformation that he wasn't going to allow, that he didn't ask for. And I think he does get a whiff of Sade and Abiola's scent.
Yeah.
And I think he tracks it for a second, and that's when he sees his sister holding his other sister dead in her arms. And there is that moment of loving your family even in spite of their worst selves, and he barrels over to them, blubbering, asking what happened over and over again.
You don't get to ask that. You tell us what happened. Where's Dick?
Yakubu ignores Sable's question. He reaches down and he clutches his sister's face, and he's breathing heavy, and he looks back to the three of you. What happened? I said I was going to help you, he growls to Camden.
I think it's worth noting at this point that since doing what Valley did on the field, she is dead quiet and is completely disassociating. She is in shock. She is not helpful. You have basically had to drag her to this interaction because what she just did is a reflection of what happened to her. And she, if she were alive, she would not be able to live with that.
Camden looks to Yakubu, tears in their eyes, and says, I didn't know what else to do. You weren't there.
And Yakubu feels numb for just a moment, staring down at his sister's lifeless face and hearing Camden's words. His eyes ignite gold. He begins to stalk towards them. I told you to trust me.
And I still do. And they try to put their hand up and looks them in their golden eyes and says, friends, remember?
Sable, seeing this, absolutely just barrels in between the two of them. Yakubu, there's a lot going on right now, and I need you to step away from Camden. And if you and your sister don't get out of here right now, I can let Jackson and his dad know what's going on over here. Or, even better, and she pulls out her phone, opens her email drafts, I can send this email to the paper that I've been drafting about you and your family.
And I think that is enough to fully get under Yakubu's skin. He has not had a single good interaction with Sable so far. And as he looks to Camden, his eyes flick to Sable. And as his eyes go over to Valley and sees her standing there stark still, doing nothing, I think without even realizing it, his clawed hand is already lashing out towards Sable's face as he screams, I wasn't fucking talking to you!
So a keeper reaction is that I can choose, under very rare circumstances, to invoke a character's darkest self. It feels appropriate. Would you agree, Percy?
You wouldn't dare, but I'm just kidding. Please dare.
Can you go ahead and read Yakubu's darkest self?
You transform into a terrifying wolf creature. You crave power and dominance, and those are earned through bloodshed. If anyone attempts to stand in your way, they must be brought down and made to bleed. You escape your darkest self when you wound someone you really care about, or the sun rises, whichever happens first.
Yakubu Abiola is transforming alongside you. It should be noted, her were self is much taller and much stronger and much bigger than yours.
And I do want to point out that I took Unstable when you become your darkest self mark experience.
Please do.
And that makes it 5. So I
Come on, level up.
get to level up, baby! And I already know what I'm picking.
All right, what are you choosing?
I would like to pick from another skin one move. That move is the hunger.
Please read it.
You have a hunger for one of the following. And unfortunately, they didn't have what I hungered for. I think Yakubu hungers for violence.
Uh-huh.
When you heedlessly pursue a hunger, add 1 to your rolls. When you ignore a promising feast opportunity, roll to keep your cool.
Lovely. This is from the Ghoul playbook, which is very kind of like a zombie parallel. Please take it. I love it.
As Yakubu raises his arm up and we watch as his muscles tense and grow, the spotted fur ripping out of his own flesh, we watch as his neck extends and becomes more muscular and vicious. This short snout filled with vicious fangs glares down at you, Sable. And I think you're fortunate enough, though, that the back of his hand doesn't hit you. It hits his sister as he swings wide over you and attempts to knock her down.
Oh, goddamn.
Please lash out physically, Yakubu. Add a +1.
With my +1 forward as I pursue my hunger of violence, my volatile is 2, and I rolled an 8, which makes that an 11.
Let's go.
Let's go.
On a 10+, you deal them harm, and they choke up momentarily before they can react.
And with that, I also have primal dominance. When you harm someone, take a string on them.
Oh, fantastic.
As the back of Yakubu's hand meets Abiola's face, he slams her into the dirt, having to reach higher than he ever has as his sister does tower over him. But this strike is filled with years of abuse, years of them telling him how he had to be. As the strike lands on her face, we get a tiny little flashback to the night of Dick's murder. Yakubu, who had been beaten and starved by his sisters and told to figure it out by himself, was so hungry, so cold, so alone that the familial power within him awoken without him even ever knowing, leading to the anguish he has held on to for so many days. And in one moment, he is allowed relief as he feels bone splinter under his hand as he knocks Abiola down to the ground and begins yipping and snarling into her face. And with primal dominance, like I said, I get to take a string on Abiola, and I think I would like to spend that string to tempt her to do what I want, which is get the fuck out of here and leave me to my junior year.
String spent. Abiola snarls at you. There is a horrific gash along the side of her snout and her neck. In your darkest self, you were so close to killing your older sister. She gathers up Charday's body in her arms and flees into the forest, which is conveniently next to the football field.
Always.
I have a question for the table here. Yakubu, you escape your darkest self when you wound someone you really care about. I'm not quite sure if Abiola falls under that category. Valley,
Yes.
looking at all of this violence, how does this make you feel about the situation and about Yakubu?
He lied to Valley by omitting this very big part of him. Granted, they hadn't really started spending time together until basically this week when all of this stuff started going down. But there was certainly something blossoming there. But I think this mirrors the violence that she inflicted on his sister. And I think it also mirrors the violence that she herself has experienced. And I would say he can leave darkest self with this wound, but I think you have to give me traumatized as a result.
I love it.
I think Yakubu not only sees that, but senses that, as hyenas are very pheromone-driven creatures. And so as he gets the whiff of fear mixed with Valley's scent, the scent that had given him peace and comfort for so long, he sees the two mixed together, hazards a glance to see the fear in her face, and with a swiftness unbecoming of a creature this size, he dashes away, and I think we see a tiny bit of tears streaking the fur as the fur peels from his face, revealing his own mortal flesh as he goes galloping home.
The glow of the full moon is superimposed with a gleaming disco ball as we transition to the homecoming dance after the football game. All of you battered, bruised, traumatized, but naturally showing up to the dance. This is my CW TV show. I do need fit checks.
Sable, after all of that chaos, took Camden along with B. B led us into the school dressing rooms
Yeah.
to get ready. So I also think in that time, we probably had a very brief little like Sable bandaging a wrist, gentle kiss on the wrist situation, maybe a slightly erotic healing moment for Camden, perhaps.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, we've got a healing move where if it's fictionally appropriate, you can heal harm. There's a side note here. If someone else is there with you, tending to your wounds delicately and intimately, and perhaps with erotic subtext, you can heal an additional 1 harm.
Ooh, cute.
Yes.
Heal me.
While B is just like, oh God, in the corner. No, but Sable's mom works in antiquing, essentially. She handles estate sales for various homes. So while Sable was scouring Reddit trying to come up with homecoming outfit ideas that didn't fall in the traditional long gown jumpsuit, nothing felt really right. So her mom suggested she look through some of the trunks that she had gotten recently from an estate sale that had not been sold. The estate of Tony the Tunes Diaz, a regionally famous piano bar owner, a state away. And Sable is wearing one of Tony's old suits, a faded, soft pink. Definitely was a bright pink at one point, one of those 70s billowing ruffled shirts, wide lapels, padded shoulders, very untailored on her, but fits, like the trousers fit her perfectly, almost making Sable appear a little curvy, which is fairly unusual for them. It definitely looks like Queer Fabio on the cover of like some banned romance novel for their school library.
Yeah, it's giving that Liberace.
Liberace, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But since it's so like unfitted, it almost looks in Sable's brain cool. And then her hair is half up, half down. She's dyed the whole back half of her hair pink.
I love it.
Before the homecoming dance, sprint almost to Jackson's room and just throw it down on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Jackson, I need your help immediately.
Jackson is home. He like ran home to change out of his football pads and like put on a suit for the dance. He's like shoving a beanie onto his head. Yep. What do you need?
Assuming the door is unlocked,
Yes.
I poke my head in, but my eyes are averted. And I say,
I'm dressed.
oh, okay, cool, awesome. I have not had any time to grab anything for the homecoming dance. Do you have a suit I could borrow?
We're about the same size. The pants might be a little long on you.
That's okay. I can tailor it. Nips and knobs, baby.
That's true. Yeah, and he pulls a spare suit out of the closet and hands it to you. What does it look like?
The suit is probably the most colorful thing that Camden will now adorn, as most of their clothes are very neutral and beige toned. This is a forest green suit with adornments of leaves and flowers. Imagine a suit that they would wear for like a wedding, but like a set-up wedding situation where they were told they had to wear this. And it's not unattractive in any way, but as noted, it does run a little big. So Camden immediately takes the suit. Thanks, Jackson. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I owe you my life. No pun intended. And runs back to their room where their tailoring and stitching equipment are and starts to get to work.
A furious singer sewing machine montage.
Yeah.
The machine is going, the bobbin is spinning, and then due to the magic of camera montages, we end with a totally tailored suit.
Yeah, completely tailored suit, a nice wide collar, and the dress shirt is, to stay comforted in their own ways, a kind of creamy beige color. And not to forget their hair. Their hair is still down, but they have added a few very small braids throughout it, just to give it some flair.
Valley did not go home after this incident, and she did not join Sable and Camden in the theater dressing rooms while they were tending their wounds. She's learned her lesson about eavesdropping. So she goes to the locker rooms. She's moving very ghost-like, almost like she's having trouble staying tethered to this plane a bit. And it's very unnatural and still and very floating as she goes into the locker room and starts to take off her clothes and change into her dress. Similar to what Camden did, she has also been altering a hand-me-down because Her parents are waste not, want not type people. And so she's wearing a periwinkle blue dress that feels very reminiscent of like the late 90s, early 2000s, something her mom would have worn to prom, but she has cinched it in and it looks a little Cinderella-esque in the color and in the style. It's strapless and sleeveless, and she has managed to scrounge up some white elbow-length gloves to hide most of the bruises and marks on her arms. And she has put glitter over some of these crosses and chains that are marking her arms to mask them and give them a little bit of brightness. But I think after the conversation with Sable, they have stopped burning and are starting to look more like scars and less like burns. And her hair is up in a high bun with little tendrils floating around her face. But she is giving off the vibe of a traumatized Cinderella headed off to the ball.
Yakubu wasn't planning on going, but Yakubu also knows that his friends and, as important, his team needs him, as all of the football players are wearing matching suits.
Oh.
They are these gaudy, light blue satin one-button suits. They have a crisp white shirt and a bright yellow satin tie. And the pocket square is a tiny little trident. And Yakubu's is more akin to a carnival tent with the size of it. And as he makes his way to the dance floor, you do see that he is sheepish as the rest of the guys are energetic and celebrating from the win that they had not an hour ago.
This means Jackson's wearing the same suit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
This fucking rules.
Yakubu, as you enter, Michael finds you and claps a hand on your back. You disappeared so quickly after the game. I thought you would have stayed to celebrate.
Family issues. I had to deal with it.
Gotcha. Well, I'm happy you're here. You look great. We all do, I guess.
Yeah, we look great.
I can't even remember whose idea this was.
I'm pretty sure it was Jackson, and I think it was a bit, but he also knows if we had lost, we all would have had to have come here in dresses, which, to be fair, I think I got the figure for it. And I think you got the figure for it.
Thank you.
And you'll see him kind of just give him just a playful punch in the arm. But I'm fine, man. I appreciate it. I just, I'm gonna need some time, okay?
Yeah. You were incredible tonight. You were something else out there, man.
And he sheepishly scratches the back of his neck. Yeah, I was something else, all right. And I think as he says that, his eyes kind of probably catch, if not Camden, then Valley, one of the two. And I think that kind of locks him in place as the rest of the guys continue on their conversation, and he's able to just fill in with some and it's very obvious that he's not here right now.
After this interaction with Yakubu and the other football players, Sable's gonna quickly push her way through the crowd of students around Yakubu and thinks twice before grabbing his arm. Is just gonna present herself in front of him really quickly and go, I won't say anything. Thank you for stopping your sister, but stay away from Camden. And it's gonna retreat as quickly as possible, holding her camera up.
You say that, and you'll very obviously notice the glow of gold when you tell him to stay away from Camden. And you are indeed out of his reach before he can comment. And you'll watch as he kind of watches you bring up the camera and puts on the mask that is needed to survive high school as he crowds around with the other football players so that you can get a shot. But I believe there is 1,000% this tension the entire time the camera's not going off between Sable and Yakubu.
Absolutely.
There's finally a moment for a dance, and with your consent, Sable, I turn to you and say, as one of those slow, absolutely mega romantic songs comes on and says, thank you again for your help today. And it may feel crazy right now, but I think there's some walls in the stalls that need to be tended to. Do you want to join me?
Sable has a brief moment of extreme fear and then realizes this is probably just being playful, if only because Sable has not revealed to Camden that Sable is the janitor. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Presents her hand, does like an overly dramatic, spins Camden, then spins themselves.
Wow!
Yeah. Pulls Camden in really closely and then says, I need time. I got your text from earlier. I need time, okay?
No, absolutely. Heat of the moment, you know?
But, I mean, if you want to go make out.
Absolutely.
Well, this perfectly good slow song is still going on.
Valley is very much a wallflower. You see the wash of the disco ball kind of like skating across her skin as she just stands there and watches all of this life and these people moving forward while she's stuck and just kind of longing for that, but not stepping out into it.
In the center of the dance floor is Yakubu. He is swaying rhythmically, almost just like with himself, almost a little mockingly, and he gets shoved by one of the football players, and he goes stumbling over, and he kind of is facing the wall that Valley is against, and the joy that he had been presenting on his face turns to almost a shameful relief as he sees her. He straightens himself up, walks on over. Got tired of telling everyone no to a dance, huh?
As if anyone asked me.
Well, I'm sure everybody asks the, future homecoming queen. You heard about that?
Yeah. I thought it was sweet, but I'm not gonna win.
Yakubu kind of like is still all jitters from the moon, but this nervousness that he feels in his chest is something different, and he will kind of gingerly hold his hand up to her. I mean, even if you don't win, I'd kind of like to dance with the prettiest girl here.
There's a lot of unresolved items here, but this is a very sweet gesture that Valley desperately longs for. And even though there is a lot left unsaid at the moment, she takes his hand. And I think as they're walking onto the dance floor, she kind of marvels at the difference in like their body temperatures and what that feels like to have all of the heat from him just kind of enveloping the coldness that she now lives with. And you would notice her hand is freezing.
As they both take their positions to dance, and Yakubu very gingerly reaches down to put his hand around her waist, and as her smaller hands are in his much larger hands, you feel as he gives you that squeeze, almost as though he is trying to put some kind of warmth or life into you. As they dance, he probably notices that they both are holding back, and he lets out a puff of air. Can I go first?
Valley has had her head on his chest, I think, because she's clearly so much shorter than him and has just been using him as a little heating blanket in this moment, and pulls away from him and looks him in the eye and nods for him to go ahead.
And the words kind of come out all at once. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause any kind of this trouble. Not for you, Camden, even Sable, none of y'all. Like, you are the best girl I have ever met. You are kind, you're smart, you look out for me, and you look out for others even when they ain't looking out for you. And I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you tonight.
Valley's gone very still in this moment, hearing you praise her, knowing what she took from you, and you don't know that yet. Well, since we're being honest, I don't think you're gonna feel that way after what I've done.
What? What do you mean?
Camden didn't kill your sister. I did.
At this moment, we hear the student council president announce, and your homecoming king and queen are Michael Henry and Valley McAllister. The gymnasium erupts into applause as Valley, someone is pulling you away from Yakubu and leading you onto the stage to give you a crown and a sash and flowers. Michael is up there next to you with the crown, and he kind of, in like a friendly way, is like pulling you into like a hug of congratulations. And I think we just end there with Valley looking out at Yakubu in this crowd, Yakubu looking at Valley, reeling with this new information, but unable to act on it in this moment. And that feels like a good season 1 finale.
You've read my mind.
Woo!
Ah!
Oh, the cinema. The girl's gonna be eating good for this one.
Where's my cigarette? God damn it.
Yeah.
I gotta get a pack at this point.
So that was Monster Hearts.
Fucking love
Sure
Monster
was.
Hearts.
Man,
Awesome.
That was a blast. That was so much fun. I'm actually deeply upset and depressed now that we're done. It was too short.
That was so much fun. I wanna thank all of you for joining me on this chaotic high school journey through Hemlock High. It couldn't have gone any better. And by that, I mean so much of it was a disaster, but in like all the best way.
Oh, yeah.
Felt like high school.
Exactly. It was too short. It was a mess. We're all crying and wondering, how did this happen?
You said
Like
things
that
you
was
didn't
high
mean
school.
to.
Yeah. You killed someone's sister. I mean, like, what are you gonna do?
It's almost like we all have watched shows like this before and like them.
Maybe we'll see these characters again later. Who knows? A senior year, perhaps? Or
Please.
I mean, we
Summer
still have the
break?
whole second semester of junior year. Yeah, summer break.
We have so much time ahead of us.
We have our whole lives ahead of us.
Oh my God.
Hemlock High is a Kitten Marlowe production, edited and produced by Kim Dalton. This episode featured a theme song written and performed by Jason Myers, with additional lyrics by Kim Dalton. You can find out more about us by visiting kittenmarlowe.com, signing up for our newsletter, or following us on socials. For Discord access, exclusive cast talkbacks, TTRPG materials, and more, visit patreon.com/kittenmarlowe and join the coolest kids in school, our Kitten Marlowe patrons, in supporting artist-driven storytelling. Thanks for listening. Psst. Do you have a blind item for the wall? Head to wallsofthestalls.com. Password, between classes. One word, no spaces. Have fun.